Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode of Highly Talkative, where we get high in conversation and discuss many topics from personal to community to anything that's going on in the world. So sit back, get cozy, and let me talk to you. Let's go. Welcome back to another episode of Highly Talkative. It's your girl A. Millie, and let's jump right into things, okay? Today's June, Monday 29th. I know I'm posting a little bit later than usual, but your girl had a really good weekend. I felt really good about myself. I slept in this morning. It was well needed, so I did it. It was for me. Okay, so as always, I have some topics that I want to discuss, a little few random things, try to dig into some real life situations here a little bit further, not just like life updates or whatever. So first topic is being more intentional about things. I want to talk about the Karmelo Anthony case just a little bit more. I want to discuss like stock marketing and investing. And then I also want to talk about a will versus a trust and what's the best option. And that's for of course, like once a passing happens. Trauma bonding, and then infant and stomach sleeping. Okay, that's been like a real lately. And then our sports parents doing too much. And of course, y'all know I have ADHD. So I'll be all over the place nonetheless. All right. So first topic, being more intentional about things. I write in my journal almost every single day. And the first, every day that I write in my journal, so basically every day, I try to give myself a list of goals that I want to do. At first, there's just like a numbered list, like 1, 2, 3, whatever, and I'd have like a whole bunch. And don't get me wrong, I feel like even when doing it this way, it's still a whole bunch, but I don't think I put more pressure on myself than what I was before. And again, that's a shout out to therapy, because I was telling my therapist about, how I journal, and this is one of the things that I do. And then she was like, well, how about you kind of switch it up and try to think of it like this way instead. So now I still do like my to-dos every day, but on the top of each to-do list is, they're broken down into 4 different categories. It's a me section, a work section, a home section, and then a fun section. Each section gets a minimum of 3 goals and a maximum of 5 goals or to-dos. And on the top of the me one, every day is to always be intentional. Of course, yes, waking up is, what's the word I'm looking for? Waking up is always a plus. Another day is never promised. But when I wake up and my eyes open, the first thing I want to do before I pick up my phone is, what am I going to do today? What is it that I want to see accomplished in today's timing, and how do I want to feel at the end of the day, and what all factors into at least feeding into feeling like that. Of course, we can't control everything, but what can I do for myself to help make sure that this is the way that I end the day? So being intentional is on the top of that me goal list every single day, because when I wake up, I want to wake up with a purpose. I've been given this drive lately that I feel all throughout my body. And I want to make sure I hit that, because every time I feel like this, the outcome is always very, very, what's the word? Every time I feel like this, the outcome is always worth the squeeze. You know that saying, like, is the fruit worth the squeeze? Like, it's always worth it. Meaning that I feel like I always get more than what I put out. But at the end of the day, it's not doing it to receive more. For me, it's doing it because this is something I love. Like, I'm a firm believer, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And that's kind of where I am at this point in life right now. So being intentional, like I said, that's just a really big thing for me. It's been a really big thing for me lately. And I think, I would love to hear some feedback for anybody who, some of y'all may do this, and like, what is your routine like when you're doing something like this, or like, what do you ask yourself, or how do you, work towards being intentional that way? Or, how do you think something like this could assist with your everyday living? Like I said, for me, I always notice like a positive shift change. Like, it's not like I'm just waking up and I'm going with the flow. Like, yes, of course, I'm grateful to be able to do that. But when I wake up and before I touch social media, I want to ask myself, like, what are my intentions for today? How am I going to get there? What am I going to do? What do I see myself doing for today? And how can I take the steps to make sure I accomplish that? So again, that feedback or those answers to those questions, you can email them at highlytalkative@gmail.com. I would love to go over them and kind of, either reach back out or discuss some things on the air. And that's also, let's be sure that I point this out. Be realistic about what your intentions are. Don't wake up and be like, my intentions are to make $1 million today. Like, let it be something very intentional, very small, very serious, but very accomplishable in the 24-hour time frame that you do have. Okay. Now, this Karmelo Anthony case, I think I touch on it a couple episodes now, but only because it's so close to home and the situation is just very sad. Like everybody says, it's very sad that somebody lost their lives, and it's very sad that this young man also intentionally lost his life because of the action that he decided to take. Now, I'm a firm believer of being able to control your emotions. Like, I'm even trying to teach my soon-to-be 13-year-old and my 9-year-old that right now. And I love the fact that the 9-year-old is only 4 years apart from my oldest, because then it's like I'm teaching him the same thing I'm teaching my oldest, but at a younger age. But he's at an age where he can like kind of more so retain what I'm saying. But I'm trying to teach him, like, you have to be able to control your emotions. Like, yes, I know there are some people out there that get get some type of satisfaction. Is that even a word, y'all? Whatever. But they're satisfied with picking on somebody to see how much they can provoke them and then cry wolf, or don't care what the consequences are behind your actions. And I'm sorry to say, but I'm raising young Black men, so that's like a double whammy right there. You have to worry about your skin color as well as how you uphold yourself in the presence of certain people's eyes. Because if not, us just having regular fun could be considered like thuggish activities or whatever. And I hate that that's a stipulation that is put on, but that's also what I have to teach my 13-year-old son at the end of the day. I know, like, yes, he's 12, but he's turning 13 at the end of July, and I should cherish all these moments, but I also have to be very realistic. Like, my dude he's there. But I tell him, like, I want you to have a childhood, but I also want you to be very precautious of how you go about things, because the way the world is now, like, it's sad I have to take your childhood away, but at the end of the day, I'd rather you know this so you understand when something like this happens and you know how to control the situation, as opposed to going into it blindly or oblivious to what could possibly happen in return. So it is very sad from like some of the videos that I've seen. Some of them are showing like the Austin kid following Karmelo Anthony, and he looks like he's with a group of kids. And then there's like one video where you can see Karmelo Anthony running from out of the stands. But for me, it's not like hard, like concrete evidence on either side, like that this is exactly what conspired. All that, like, even if all of that was happening, I think I would have suggested to my son, like, when you see a group of boys following you, don't try to take action. The first thing you should do is find you your own group. Find you a safe space, something, go find you an adult, let them know what you're seeing. That way, boom, it's documented from the very beginning. Like, leaving a paper trail in certain instances is very important to me. And then if it continues to happen or you continue to see them and then stuff escalates and you have to defend yourself, at least there is some type of, or some like point in time where somebody can say they did reach out to me or confront me or come to me and let me know that this situation was happening before it escalated to this XYZ. And then also sometimes, what's sad to say, and I know I'm kind of like contradicting myself in a way, but even when people do that, that sometimes does not work out in their interest, because It's like the person doesn't testify for them, or they don't quote unquote remember the situation happening like that. Um, but again, like I said, it's all around like a very sticky situation. But I'm also going to trickle in a little bit on Austin Metcalf's, I think that's how you say his last name's dad, which is the young boy who sadly passed away. He got on some type of rant on social media and had the nerve to call Karmelo Anthony a watermelon felon. And I just think that that is so crazy to say, especially, and like, I get the circumstances that are coming about, but I don't feel like I've seen, at least on my algorithm, I haven't seen his family, Carmelo Anthony's family, be nasty to Austin's family. I haven't seen or heard of Carmelo Anthony being nasty to the Austin family. So I'm just like, what was the purpose of you doing that, especially to a 17-year-old boy? That kind of just shows your real character. I feel like if I just, I don't even know what I feel, honestly. There is a mix of emotions when it comes to this type of situation, because I just think to myself, like, it really could have been anybody's kids. And it's literally just the simple fact of them not knowing how to fully control their emotions. Like, emotions played a really big part in this situation. And I feel like that's something that needs to be focused on, because young teenagers, and especially young black teenagers, and especially young black teenager boys, they sometimes don't have that space to where they feel like they can express themselves without looking like a little girl, or giving too much information about their lives, or letting somebody in too much. Like, I feel like these boys need to know that it is okay to go to somebody and use your words and express yourself. Like, I think fighting or any type of retaliation to that matter should really be the last resort of any type of situation. And that goes, again, both ways for Carmelo Anthony and Austin, because if Austin jumped Carmelo Anthony with his friends, again, there is a better way of going about things like that. Like, you could have done anything else but put your hands on him. And if it's self defense, then you can't really tell somebody, or expect them to retaliate back in the same manner. Like I said, all around a very shitty situation. But in other news, I hear and I seen on social media that he is um getting a new legal team, and I think this is all pro bono, and like, they're well known lawyers. There we go. They're really well known lawyers. So I think that's good. I think they're trying to put in an appeal, not necessarily to like dismiss the charges or anything like that, but maybe get him more of a fair trial, because all the jurors were white, and we just, I don't like that. I can't speak for we or us, but I know I just didn't like that. Like, I feel like it should have been a mixed jury, to say the least. And then I also want to know why his previous attorney didn't want him to take the stand. I feel like it was very prevalent and very important for Carmelo Anthony to take the stand, to be able to express what happened in his side of the story. And we could like hear in his voice how remorseful he may have been or could have been. Like, I feel like him not testifying also really hurt him, and I want to know why his attorney didn't think it was a good idea for him to testify. Like, I really want to know that. And then I just want to know, and I'm wondering like what the appeal process is. Like, I know people can get convicted and locked up in a matter of minutes, but I hear like it takes an appeal a while to process. So Carmelo Anthony could already be in jail from like 1 to 5 years before he's actually able to get the appeal process like in front of a judge or whatever. So I think that's pretty interesting too. Okay. Now let's jump into like the better, more brighter side of things, cuz I think I ranted about that a little too long. Um Stock market and investing. Okay, I had a moment in life where I was trying to invest, and then I think it just got like kind of overwhelming. But now I'm back at that point in my life again where I think I'm ready to start investing and like seeing returns. But to be honest with you, I don't know much about investing or the stock market in general. And I think I would have to take a crash course online or like watch a few videos, because I'm not just like a read and understand. Like, I'm a visual learner. I need to see it and like kind of walk through it a little bit before I can really fully understand what's going on. But I know that I want to start investing. I think that's one of the smartest moves anybody could ever make, is trying to use something very feasible and very small, but worth a lot, and start investing in that, because stuff like that really goes a long way. Like, I remember I used to watch MTV's Cribs or whatever, and I would see like random ass people on there, and they're asking what they're doing, and they could have been lying, who knows, but investing was, I like, outside of like the rappers and stuff, investing was majority of their answers. So, and it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere anytime soon either. So I think that that is something I really want to start to understand, and finding out like what that first investment really should be. Like, should it be crypto? Should it be like something that's physical, like the ingredients that they put in chocolate, or the bolts that they use on Boeing 737s? Like, I want to know what is the first smart, small investment that can potentially grow over time. And then how much you put in. I know that also plays a big factor too. You put in a little, you start to save a little, you put in a lot, and you get a lot back in return. But again, it also depends on the stock market and where things are, because just as fast as a stock or an investment can grow, I know it can drop just as easily. And I learned that from the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, honestly, because there was like this scenario that he gave where a dad's friend, or a dad gave the son some money, told him he won't invest in his business, but he won't invest in something, but he'll give him some money to invest in like stocks or whatever. And he did that. And one night he was really excited because the stock market shot up, and he turned like thousands into almost millions. But literally, like almost the next day, it dropped and all that money was gone. And he was like, damn, I should have just cashed out when I had the chance, but I was thinking that it was going to grow more. But again, you have to be able to watch the stock market to understand certain aspects of that trading situation. And that's the confusing part to me, because it's just like, what am I watching for? Like, what do these dates mean? Like, what does it mean when it says somebody's going to go live or open to the public? Like, I don't understand that. I just want to sprinkle my money on an investment and watch it grow. But of course, that's not how it works. I guess this kind of also factors into like, not really, but in a sense, having a will versus having a trust when it comes to like organizing things and rearranging things for when that time comes. Mm, I hear having a will is good, yes, but I hear having a trust is even better. I think that's the best way I can put it. So, like, when you have a will, yes, everything that you state that you want is still provided in a sense, but that will has to go through probate, which means it has to go in front of a court. You guys have to go through everything that the person owned and have it split up, and then read the will and see who gets what assets or what have you. Other than that, I really don't understand what the point of probating a will is, but I hear it can be very lengthy and very costly, right? And who wants to go through all of that, especially when you just lost a loved one? But it's also, I think, good to just say, like, this is what this person's stuff was. This is who this person wants this stuff to go to. So it's not just sitting out in limbo. But then I'm also like, what if the person doesn't have a will or trust? Then what happens to their property? Like, I'm all up in the air about that. But I know for a fact that having a will makes you go through probate, and that's just like a process that I don't see myself going through or see me putting my kids through, because I just want it to be like easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? But then I'm like, I've never had a I've never had to deal with a trust. Let me put it like that. I've never had to deal with a trust. Learning about trust has just came to mind maybe 2, 3 years ago when I started going through like my own type of situation. Um, but I want to know, like, when it comes to a trust, what are the benefits of having a trust? Like, I don't think a trust has to go through probate, and if it does, please correct me if I'm wrong. But having a trust doesn't put your property from your deceased loved one through probate, so it's not like you have to spend the extra money But I'm also like, how do you file a trust? Like, what goes into having a trust? To where is the trust held at? Do I get a hard copy of it? How much does it cost to create a trust? Because in my head, you can't just do something like this for free. But then also with having a trust, once, you know, gone, how does my property or the property or whatever get distributed? Like, who does the distributing? Is there an executor of the estate like there is in a will? Like, how does all of that go? And again, the cost and how it's managed. Like, I really need somebody, and I know for a fact there is somebody out there listening that knows the answers to these questions. Please email those at highlytalkative@gmail.com, because I would love to really know and kind of understand better. Of course, yes, I can look it up, but I love to be interactive with my crowd. So email me that information if you have it. I can respond back if I can respond back. If not, I will definitely address something like this on the air, because I feel like it's very important information. Like, this is stuff people couldn't know and really may not have a clue about. And look at me, little old me over here helping y'all. Like, come on. Okay, so trauma bonding. Me and one of my homegirls was kind of discussing this when I was asking her about something. And it's crazy how the universe works, and I can't wait to talk to my therapist about this. I need to put it in my binder so I don't forget. But I needed a notary, in trauma bonding, because we both lost our parent, our mother. And she checks on me a lot. And I also told her, like, I feel like I could be doing a lot better in that area, because I know I could reach out and check on you. But we both lost our parent, our mother, and like I said, she checks on me a lot. I could really be doing a lot better. You know, I think she understands to an extent. But we were talking, and we were kind of just like discussing how, we have a lot of things in common. And I was just like, we should probably try hanging out more, blah, blah, blah. She was like, yeah, I'd hate to say this is trauma bonding, but, and I'm like, yes, to an extent, you're right. But like, other than the trauma, what else? This is what I'm thinking to myself, why these became topics. But other than like the trauma itself, what else do we have in common? Like, yes, we may have started off with trauma bonding, but at the end of the day, we also have these things in common, and was trying to figure out how we can turn something that became so detrimental to both of our lives into something positive. And then you never know, like, really, really good things may come from it. Sorry, my baby woke up. I have to go get her. Her so cute. Um, there's like a lot of good things that could come from trauma bonding, if you ask me. Okay. And just factoring in that we really may have more things in common other than the trauma is important to me. Like, of course, I don't want it just to be trauma bonding, but why does trauma bonding have to be a bad thing? Like, why can't it ever be a good thing? Why can't it be like, yeah, we both, like I said, went through these horrific moments in life, but at the end of the day, like, we found some common ground. It wasn't just this sad moment that happened to us, but in actuality, this sad moment brought us together to realize and understand how strong we are together. Like, if that's just a friendship or like an actual relationship as well, this trauma brought us together in some kind of way, and it allowed us to do things that we never thought we could do. Let's just put it like that. So I don't see why people see trauma bonding as like a bad thing. Yes, it can be a bad thing because we just have this one thing in common, which is the trauma. Other than that, we're just trying to force things to work because we have this one significant trauma thing in common and nothing else. But also, that's why I think it's important to really understand the difference between that and we have more things in common, not just this trauma. If that makes sense. Like, in my head, when I say certain things, it really makes sense. But then when I say it out loud, I'm really just like, what are you trying to say? But I know what I'm trying to say. Okay. All right. Now, speaking of my baby, because I just said she woke up and I had to go get her. My girl has been loving to sleep on her stomach lately, and I would partly blame it on me due to the fact that we have come into this little habit that when we're feeding in the middle of the night and we are finished, I'm trying to burp her, but we're laying down and I just fall asleep with her right there. And we sleep really good to the point where she is a professional roller over. Okay, my girl rolls. My girl roll like multiple times in a row, turn her body sideways. You ask me, this is a different type of 3 months. This is a different type of infant stage. I have never in my life seen anything like this, and maybe it's just because I haven't had a kid in 9 years, and these are just the new things. But my girl loves to sleep on her stomach. And she's very mobile. Like she can lift her head up. She holds her head up for a long time. Like she turns her head. She's able to turn it. She sucks on her fingers. Like I think she tries to sit up, but I'm also like, okay, no, girl, you're moving too fast. Slow down. Sit down. Let me hold you. I got this. I got this. But yeah. So on her tummy, she rolls. Okay. I will lay her on her back, and it's like if there's nothing around her, even if there's something around her, because in her doc top, my girl show rolled the hell on over and stuck her fingers in her mouth and was knocked out. And I'm over there just like over her, looking, hovering, just watching her sleep because we all know why. Because, okay, we don't have to say it. But yeah, we were taking a nap the other day, and I got out of the bed and I left her on the open bed in the middle. I was still in the room. It wasn't like I had left anywhere. My back was turned against her. I was literally folding laundry, but she was still asleep. And I lay her on her back. She's on her back for all of maybe a good 3 minutes. I kid you not. And she rolled over, got comfortable, put her fingers in her mouth, and she slept. And I kind of felt like a crazy person because I basically watched her sleep. Like I had my computer on one side of her doing some work, and then I was on the other side of her. I mean, she was on the other side of me, and I'm literally like doing work and watching her sleep, doing work and watching her sleep. And then I realized my girl has been asleep for 3 hours. Hold on now. And my girl has been sleeping good. Like I had to wake her up. I didn't have to. I just wanted to. Because, I'm a crazy mom. But I was like, yeah, hello, girl. Hey, what's going on? And she's like scrunching up, looking at me like, girl, did you really just wake me up? Yeah. So tummy sleeping, she likes that. Anybody else's infant loves to stomach sleep, and they're not even 6 months old. Okay, we're not even knocking on 4 months yet. Like we are, but we're not. So, what are your thoughts on that? Or like, has anybody else experienced this? And if you have, like, what have you done as an outcome? Like, I need to know these things. And again, the email is highlytalkative@gmail.com. Okay. Reach out and provide me with that feedback, that info, because I need to know. Because the way my girl loves some sleeping stomach time, I love that for her. Okay. I really, really do. All right. So let's talk about it. Are sports parents doing too much? And I will say myself included, because let me tell you something. I used to be a cheerleader. I did sports. I love it all. Okay. I'm just as competitive as my kids, but I also enjoy and like to have fun. Like that is my stuff. Okay. Um, I'm a semi shit talker. Okay. Not a professional one, but semi. I love it all. Youth sports, adult sports, any sports. Like I'm in it. Okay, girlfriend. I know that's right. You tell him. You too. But I'm in there. Like I even love coaching my kids' team. It's great. I love it. Okay. But are we doing too much? Is it fun for you, or is it fun for them? And I mean that in the way of what I just explained too. Like, yeah, this is if I'm gonna be out here 3 times a week, 4 times a week, because 3 weeks are, oh my goodness gracious, girl. Because 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 days a week, we're at practice, and the fourth day we're at a game and we're spending hours on that field. You better believe your ass that I'm definitely about to have some fun too. Like we're not about to just spend money and not have fun. You can have fun on the field, and mama's gonna have some type of fun, some type of way. Okay. But also in the sense of, are your kids doing this because this is something that they want to do, or is your kid doing this because you're living vicariously through them and you're forcing them to? And at that point, Is it fun for you or is it fun for them? And I know a lot of parents out there where it's fun for them, not fun for them, fun for them. Like they're living through their kids. Like we had the chance, girl, I know, right? We had the chance to go pro in high school, but I got my knee fucked up or some type of shit. Like that's the type of parents that I know. But I also know the great side of parents who are just like, my kid loves this. They find enjoyment out of it. I found some good people in it. We're all gonna have fun. It's time, baby. Because don't think that if we're going out of town, that's a few hours away, and this weekend is just for you. Oh no, sir. No, sweet sir. I love that you thought that, but this weekend is for us, and we're gonna turn up. Okay, all of us are gonna turn up. That's it's fun for us. We love it here. My kids love it. Like I love when I'm cheering them on and they make a good play, or I give them a pep talk and they make this good ass play, and then they're looking for me, and we hype. Okay, I love going out to games and playing songs that get my boys lit, and they're girl, I know, right? You gonna get to see it, and they're lit while they're warming up. Like I get a full joy out of doing that and seeing that within my athletes and my kids. It's a time. It's a great time. Another thing I want to touch on with this is social media and young athletes. Okay. I know there's like this buzz going around about like social media shouldn't be accessible for kids who are under the age of 16 because of XYZ. But the only thing I would say I would want a social media for my kids for is that exposure. Ironically, a lot of coaches don't come out and recruit anymore. They recruit via social media. They look at your highlight clips. They look at, how you are as an all around person. They look at the things that you post. Yes, but it's really social media based. Where 60% of recruitment coaches are going out to get the feel of who this athlete is and what they're about and all the things, as opposed to looking on their social media, seeing their highlight clips. Like I had to record my clips. I had to put them on a disc. I had to send them to a recruiter for them to look at, for them to come out to me. But that process took so long where I can literally post these clips on social media and a recruiter can search my name and see all the clips that I have of my highlights. I think that's really important. I really, really do. So maybe it should be some type of platform, and mark my words. Okay, how do I trademark this? If anybody comes up with one of these apps, I need a percentage because I know you're listening to me and I know you got this idea for me. But come out with a sports platform. Like, yeah, I know there's like Sports Engine and like these other apps where kids can get on and like put their profile, like how tall they are, what position they play, their weight, their class, and X, Y, and Z. But there should be one where kids can use it just like they use Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, where they can upload reels of their highlights. But everything has to strictly be sports related. Like it cannot deal with anything or any other bullshit, just straight up sports. Like I think that would be dope. And it doesn't have to stick to one sport. It can be any of your sports: tennis, swimming, golf, track. Girl, you think it's a good idea too? You hear my baby? My baby said it's a good idea. So again, I know you're listening. If you come up with it before I do, I need at least 10%, maybe even 15. Okay, we can talk business. But I'm being for real. Like I know I'm joking around, but I'm being so for real. With that also being said, what are your coaching styles, or what coaching styles do you like for your kids, or what coaching styles do you realize your kid enjoys? Girl, this is not about you. Okay? I'm trying to get through this thing. And I say that because I feel like my coaching styles always work. I run into athletes who feel so like, I think it's just because like I'm a mom that too, but I run into athletes where like they're sometimes down and don't think they can do it, and I give them a pep talk, not in the sense of like some of these hard men daddy coaches out here, but like I nurture them, but I also let them know like I believe in you, you can do this, this is what you need to do in order for it to get done. And anytime I give that pep talk, you can believe like they going out there cracking something, hitting something, getting a touchdown, like holding their chest up. But then I also know that there are more harder type coaches out there who kind of have like that old school coaching type thing. But mind you, these kids are like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, not even in high school. So it's like they're getting that coaching mentality at the age of like 7, 6, 7, 8. Um, I've seen it be very constructive, where a kid listens, but you also have those kids who don't really get yelled at or fussed at. So it's not really building them up. It's more so breaking them down. Now they're all up in a shell and don't really know how to express themselves. So or come to you when they feel like they made a mistake because now they're scared, right? And something that they could have really been good in is now something that they no longer want to do because it's not fun for them. um, it's really a thing. I see it, especially as a coach. Like I see it. It's really a thing. And lastly, like having kids who play multiple sports. Like my kids, both my kids, they don't just play one sport. No, they play multiple, but my youngest plays multiple, multiple, multiple. Like my oldest is very firm. Like it's football, maybe a little bit of golf, track for sure, and he might do basketball. Okay. My youngest is like, I want to do football. I want to do soccer again. I want to do track. I want to try baseball. I also want to do anything else that anybody else says that sounds fun and it's a sport. That's what I want to try and do. I love us. Good luck to us. Where do we get this money from? Okay. Because youth sports are not cheap, not even at the rec. I'm sorry, $60 at a rec league is not crazy insane, but $60 is really what I be like. And then there's camps that they want to go to for each sport. And I'm just like, sit down somewhere. Damn, please sit down. But stay active because I love that for you. And you love that for you too. But where do we draw the line, folks? Because the cost of living is insane, absolutely insane. I was telling my cousin about this and some things that I was thinking about, but like what's deterring me from that, and it's the cost of living. Because why is it so much? And some people are still getting paid minimum wage. How the hell can we afford rent that's $17,100 billion and we make a minimum wage still? And where I'm from, minimum wage is I think like $7.25 still. So please, let's be for real. How are like shout out to the support systems too, because y'all are the bee's knees for supporting these kids. And let's be for real, us parents too, because help me. Okay? Help me. I kind of think I just want to round that off because all jokes aside, like I love it for us. I love that these kids really put in hard work to do certain things. And I love how we're not, and I say we because me and my sports mamas, baby, this is not a they trip. This is a we trip. We all finding some type of fun to do. We're all finding something. Like we're not just out here for football. That's not what we were out here for. That's what you thought. Um, yeah. Oh, and randomly, y'all, in my backyard, I have like, I guess you could say different types of trees back there because they all don't look the same when I'm looking at their leaves and how they grow, which in return bring in a plethora of bird species. Okay, I see blue jays, I see a few yellow birds every now and then. I have seen a lot of cardinals, but I'm saying it's my mama because she's been around real bad lately. I see a lot of different other birds that I really don't know, and they're all making different noises, and I can see like the trees blowing in the wind and just watching the birds like fly out of the trees and looking at how differently they are and all the different sounds they make. The nature girly in me loves it. Like I am head over heels about that. I can sit in my backyard all day and listen to the trees flutter together and the birds chirping and all the things. Like I love that really, really bad. And we're going to close it out there, guys. Okay. Because I just felt like that was an amazing way to end this episode. And as always, I am available on all major streaming platforms. That's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. You can listen to me on YouTube. You can go to rss.com and search Highly Talkative Podcast and choose the platform you prefer to stream me on. But stream me because the way you guys have been supporting and loving me lately has been nothing short of amazing. And I appreciate it really badly. I also have Instagram. You can follow me at highly.talkative. You can follow me on Facebook at Highly Talkative. And then let's shout out my other two businesses that I have as well. We have Keep It Stashy, that you can follow me at Keep It Stashy on Instagram or Keep It Stashy on Facebook. And that's for all things business. You run your forefront, I run your back end and assist you with all onboarding or terminations or documentation, organization, media, anything like that. I'm your girl. That's where I'm at. Okay. You can also email documents at keepitstashy.com and put in any inquiries. And I also have my website on my Facebook. You can click it and kind of look at the general pricing ideas. I'd be very grateful for that. Shouting out the third business is Sassy Ash Stash. That's all things customs. That's shirts, backpacks, hats, pins, anything, you name it. I can do cups as well. You can follow me on Instagram at Sassy Ash Stash or Facebook at Sassy Ash Stash. And as always, I appreciate the love, the support, the follows, the likes, the views on YouTube. Don't forget to share your girl, because that's important. That goes into everything that I'm trying to do, get my name out there. This is always love, and I, like always, will holla at y'all next week.